Welcome to Don and Brian's AI podcast, which has no name currently.
26.1.
26.1, which is what, Don?
It's the average commute time in the United States.
Yes, almost the same number as 26.2, which is
the length of a marathon.
Oh my gosh, you nailed it. So, I'm just going to keep the dramatic music going for a moment while we try to get Todd Terrazas online, who is the LA Artificial Intelligence Los Angeles president. Let's get Todd on the line in a few minutes and figure out what Todd can tell us about the current state of AI in LA. What do you say, Don?
Sure, but this sounds like he has no idea we're recording him for the podcast.
Okay, that's dramatic now. Yeah, so Don, what I was thinking, when we get him on the call, we'll record him and say, hey, Todd, we're going to be recording this for a podcast, this conversation, if it's okay with you. What do you think he's going to say?
Well, maybe you should add that it'll be a great promotional channel for AI.
I'm going to tell him we're testing out our speakers, our recording devices that we got online, the Samsung. True statement.
I think that's like the Jason route of telling somebody they're not that important.
Okay.
Sometimes that works. People respond to that.
So we should tell him that this is the most important podcast ever.
Yeah, because it's our first ever. Maybe. Don't know.
If we publish it first. But you can really record them in any order.
Right.
Yeah. And then we could publish them after we get the media.
We'll apply AI for the publishing order.
I think we should.
We'll predict the most successful schedule.
I think we should have a phase out pattern, like where we no longer exist as people running a podcast.
I'm all for replacing myself with a bot.
Yeah, we start with some natural language processing technology, and we slowly convert that into the man versus machine, then the machine versus man, and then the machine versus machine.
Well, I'd be more interested in creating bots that could replicate famous interviewers like Walter Cronkite and creating a whole podcast channel or something with that.
What if we could have a bot that has smoker's lung?
Well, that might be a thing. Eventually smoker's lung will be gone because people will not smoke any longer when it's like $50 a pack.
I always complain because those map voices, doesn't matter if it's on Waze or Google Maps, whatever, they're always kind of so predictable and robotic, and they need to have a little bit of coughing and sneezing and sound hungover occasionally. That would be much more realistic.
Complain about their kids.
Yeah. We could like loop it into a real event on the car. Like you're listening to the news. And like, oh, they're talking about that jerk again. Oh yeah, make a left here. Make a left here. By the way, no, don't turn there. Like a backseat driver rap. Like my mom. My mom's like backseat driver.
Yeah. Backseat drivers. See, I wonder if that ever happens in Uber. I wonder if that's like the lowest rating you can get in an Uber is when you start backseat driving.
I actually think I got a 0-star, if that even exists, by telling someone that they should turn down an alley. And the guy says, I'm not going to risk my tires, man. You don't pay for these tires. I'm like, well, actually, I do, since I'm riding Uber a lot, I probably do pay for your tires, but he didn't want to get into that.
You should have done the math for him.
I'm late for the other Todd on the other line. All right, do you want to listen to my conversation with Todd as in the background as I talk to him?
Yeah, sure. What's the recording laws in California?
You saw my lawyer's email, so.
Recording in progress.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Looking for the future of AI. Welcome to 26.1.
Hello.
No more echo.
That sounds much better. Yes. Better? Yes. It's fantastic.
All right. Bluetooth works now. Oh, yeah.
Woo. I was getting a little nervous there for a second. Thought we were going to have to reschedule, but got 20 minutes. We can talk a little bit shop here. So, cool. Todd, a little bit, we'll introduce ourselves first, I guess. We kind of bombarded you last minute and said, hey, you want to jump on a podcast? And you're like, yeah, why not? Because you're a cool guy.
Sure.
We met at the downtown LA rooftop party, which sounds like you're the organizer for, which was an amazing event. And I wanted to connect with you on other events you might have going on, and also introduce myself and introduce my good friend, Don Shu. So why don't you go first, Don? Who are you?
Who am I? Well, most recently I'd been busy with building up Seattle's largest tech community, which we had our 5th anniversary this last Wednesday, hosted by Redfin in town. During the meeting, we ticked over to our 8,000th member. We'd also been active with the Python Software Foundation, running a program featuring startups at the annual conference for the global Python community. That program has included unicorns like Docker and OfferUp. Over the years, we've figured out that 18% of the founders or the startups have exited, and I have put on a conference in Seattle and Vancouver for Python, and put on a fundraiser for CS for All that featured the creators of Java, TypeScript, C#, Perl, and Python.
Thanks, Don. And Don's largely one of my best friends. I usually call him my best friend, but on podcasts, I only say one of my best friends because I don't want to get it recorded saying that. Then they'll use it against me, force me to buy him beer. So I founded the Chicago Python user group a number of years ago and ran it for a number of years. And we hosted a lot of events and had a lot of memberships. Don's been to Chippy several times when he was in Chicago. And we decided to start this podcast so that we could get in. We have some of the top AI folks in the world we're talking with, and we haven't started actually publicly releasing any of these. So we're just in the gathering of transcript stage, Todd. And, our next step is to, kind of find the smartest, brightest, most connected people in that industry and move it forward, if you will. And largely, it sounds like that's what you do, is you move this forward. And I'd like to hear more about your background and kind of why you chose to lead the LA and the AI scene.
For sure. Well, thank you guys for having me. I guess I'll tell you my quick story. Born and raised Los Angeles. I'm actually a 3rd generation, so I've actually never lived it, and I've also never lived anywhere else. I went to school at USC for film school. For film and television, and so I actually started off when I was younger, a little bit of a coder, writing some HTML to build websites, mucking around on the internet, but really got in tune with wanting to be a storyteller and work in Hollywood. So I went to film school and totally dropped off on ever thinking of being an engineer. But then after college, I started a tech company building everything from emergency response systems for music festivals to attempting to build an AI 911 operator, to then just chatbots for customer service and marketing. And during that time period, the chatbot phase, I started a meetup group here in LA called the LA Chatbot Meetup. And when my company, towards only for a few months, we kept that name, and then I rebranded it to AI LA so that we could focus more on, basically give us a better branding than just being limited to chatbots. My company didn't really work out as a real viable business, so it was a great learning experience, an expensive one too. But for the last 3 years, I've been running AILA community, and only in the last 10 months developed it into a California nonprofit and really made it my full time. And really what we're passionate about is bringing people from all different shapes and sizes and the skill levels together to talk about how AI and new frontier technologies will impact your life, society, and industry. And the way that we go about that is every month's a different theme. So we'll touch on everything from investment finance to entertainment media to education, healthcare, cybersecurity, mobility, ethics and fairness, sustainability and climate change, you name it. Each month, we really like to dive in deep through multiple types of engagements, from a casual happy hour to a Third Thursday Tech Talk, which is usually moderated panels, all the way to workshops focusing on everything from how to deploy machine learning models on edge devices like the Google Coral to computer vision problems. And so our community is around 5,600 members and growing, and we're all volunteer-led so far. And yeah, we love bringing people from all different industries and all different skill sets and experience levels together to see what can happen.
Oh, that's fantastic. So give us an example of a couple people who would be attending your events, and any personal stories you can tell about what impact they may have made, either on a personal level, on a business level, or any sort of connection that you've made with some of the folks that are the more of the corpus of your events.
Sure. It's funny. So even our vice president, Ross Mead, he has a PhD in computer science with a focus on human robotic interactions. And we first met actually at one of those chatbot meetups. And after meeting him, we then had him come and speak on a panel. And ever since then, we became basically best friends. You know, one of our best friends, right? I forgot we're on podcast too.
Yeah, that could change.
That could change, right? Especially after this one. Shoot. But you know, he became very supportive. We're good friends. We hang out. We talk every day. And he then came on the board of AILA. But what was really I guess a story that he likes to tell is that he met one of his biggest clients at through one of our events. And so because of that, his company is focusing on building the operating system for robotics. And so I can't name the name of the client, but you all know him. That was one of his great stories, that he was introduced to them through our event, and it's a great success story. Hopefully someday we'll actually be able to name the name of the company. But as of right now, it's one of those companies that, wild guesses, right? So anyways, that's one story off the top of my head.
Yeah. So what do you anticipate? Yeah. What do you anticipate a user or member to give back to the community after they started being involved with it? I mean, like in his case, he benefited greatly from the interactions of it. Do you expect them to come back and give regular talks, or is there any mentoring you think they should do, or is it just about awareness? What do you expect your members who are benefiting from your putting on these events to give back to their community?
Sure. Just like any community, right? You only get what you put into it. And so we really want to make sure that, you know, if you can help someone find a new business, a career, research, friendship, give a talk, make an introduction, help us with volunteering for, logistics and event planning, finding us a venue. I mean, people that come to our events are always emailing us about how they can volunteer, or making introductions, and always trying to give back in some way, because we really do this out of a labor of love. And so I feel that we attract the same type of people, those type of minds. And so we expect really nothing from the community except just to keep on, being the best they can be. And if they can help someone else in the community, to please do that. So we will be starting up actually a mentorship program soon through industry leaders here in Los Angeles, with undergrads and high schoolers in the LA County area. So that's another opportunity for people that are in industry to give back to undergrads and high schoolers that want to lead a career in technology.
I want to go back to where you mentioned, Todd, about venues. So typically for Brian and I think it's always been employers that want to hire Python engineers that are the most interested in hosting. Where are your venues coming from? What are the companies kind of involved with an interest in AI around in LA?
Sure. We've been at Google twice. So we did a huge event where it was like over 350 people. at Google's Venice Beach office when we focused on education. So it was AI in the classroom, and that was a phenomenal event. I think that's really what people will remember us. Well, at least recently will remember us by. That's besides the party that we threw last week. And then after that, we did another event focusing on the future of work. And so Google's hosted us twice, and we're really grateful for that in the Venice office. And so companies like them have stepped up. We obviously, like typically, like most event organizers, we're scrappy. We don't really have budgets, and so we always are trying to look for the handouts of people that would love to host us and can actually have the infrastructure to do so. And so we've been at a number of different co-working spaces, everything from cross campus to like a WeWork. Yeah, companies like Google are stepping up, and it's great to see that. There's even like Microsoft, I know, is down in Playa Vista. Amazon Studios is going to be opened up in Culver City along with Apple, and so we're looking forward to when those buildings are up and running. Netflix is around, Hulu's around. That we hope to be at those types of venues as well, and just bring our community to their campus.
What defines success for you with these events? Is it the number of participants? Is it the quality of conversation?
For me, I guess I like seeing big crowds. I like seeing that a lot of people came out and supportive. What I really do love is also like the follow-ups when people email us and just the love that's given back. So for me, success is just really seeing that a diverse and inclusive community is coming together and consistently coming out. So I guess success to me is seeing not only just a lot of familiar faces at each event, but then also a lot of new ones. Because I normally in the beginning of the event, I'll have people raise their hand if it's their first time, and then I'll have people raise their hand if it's, they've obviously been here before. And it's always nice to see, a good mix of both sides of, fresh new attendees, and then obviously a lot of regulars that, support us on a monthly basis.
It's funny you say that. I remember saying, raise your hand if this is their last time attending all the time, and people would get a giggle out of that.
I like that.
Yeah, but the retention's hard. And you've traveled a bit lately too, haven't you?
Yeah, I was invited out to Dubai to give a talk, 2 different talks on the World Data Science Forum. I also went out to Geneva for the AI for Good Global Summit, and I was there for a week with the XPRIZE team and basically XPRIZE team. And I even spoke about human capital on a panel there in Geneva, which was pretty amazing. I was with other people from Pittsburgh and Montreal. And so I was promoting why the LA ecosystem is the best place to be. That. And then I was very grateful in July, went on a little bit of a road trip throughout Europe just to have some fun while living that digital nomad life. So I was always still working.
Yeah, I like the digital nomad theme that you bring in there. But also, now that you have exposure to some of these places more recently, why is the human capital in LA so good? Why is it a good market right now to be working and employing here in LA in this space?
Definitely. Even with housing is a problem with most places, but definitely we're not as bad off as, say, New York or San Francisco. We actually I have states that actually Los Angeles graduates the most engineers than any other metropolitan in the United States. The only issue, our biggest problem though, which AngelList came out with a report a few months ago, was that we lose 72% of our graduates to other ecosystems, other cities for their first job because of a lack of junior entry level positions here in LA. So that's an opportunity for us as a community organization to help work with universities and the industry. But definitely LA, we have the best weather, the worst traffic, but I feel like you got the mix of everything, right? You've got the desert, you've got the mountains, you've got the beach. It's not a bad place to live and work and play.
You mentioned that LA graduates so many engineers. That's actually surprising to me. Which schools are they coming from? For example, what I know of Caltech is pretty small.
Caltech's good. We got USC, UCLA, Harvey Mudd, and UCI is what comes up in this report that came. So it's a report that came out of Amplify LA. It's a local accelerator. So I'm pulling that information from their report. But yeah, it is surprising. But
so Todd, what sort of events do you have on the horizon? Can you give us any early previews on some of the things, at least even some ideas you have. That's fine too. We won't hold it against you. Just 300,000 listeners will. But
yeah, sure.
What do you have? What do you have in mind?
Yeah, well, we have everything already scoped out for this year, and a lot of other stuff already scoped out for 2020. And so what's coming up is Moonshots. Moonshots will be in September. We'll be focusing on ambitious projects in some aerospace. So think of it as like a mix between 7 TED Talks and then a science fair, and that'll be in Culver City. And then in October, we're having our second, another life summit, where we're focusing on healthcare and life sciences. And that's our opportunity to invite, partner with healthcare system owners, health system owners, to workshop their problems, leveraging our community of cross-disciplinaries. So the idea is that your children's hospital, you own a working group at our event. We then invite experts and passionate experts from other fields to come in and help you, help them workshop their problems, and hopefully spur some discoveries because of a design thinking approach and an outsider's perspective. And so we got that going. In November, we're focusing on cybersecurity and mobility through our partners at Commotion LA. We're also working with Mobile World Congress in October. We have a few panels that we're helping source speakers for, and I'm even moderating a panel with, I forget his position, but a high rank at Boston Consulting Group Digital Ventures. And so, yeah, a lot of things are planned out, and I hope you guys can attend sometime.
We don't only want to attend. I think we want to help you spread the word or help you in any way that you find possible. So maybe you could tell us what sort of ways, how can, Don and I, we know a couple people. So how could we help? What would be a success if we brought you? Are you looking for sponsors? Are you looking for more community membership? Are you looking for all of the above? I mean, what can Don and I do to help, particularly like with the life science ones and things like that?
Sure. Definitely all of the above, but to be more specific, because you guys are busy guys, and if I had one request, it would always be helping us with sponsorships. Helping to put us in front of big names and people that want to be in part of our community and that actually complement our community. So definitely sponsorship is number one. And then obviously for the life science one, if you know anyone at companies like Amgen or Blue Shield or you name it, that would be a health system owner that should be in this room. We would always love introductions to anyone. But yeah, I guess those are the two asks I have. Plus, obviously, just tell your friends to go to joinai.la and sign up for our newsletter. We only ship off twice a month, so we don't spam you. And please join our community.
So that's joinai.la. What a cool URL that is, Don. What do you think? Should we help Todd out, Don, or not?
Well, I mean, a couple things that came to mind is there a Providence St. Joseph in the LA?
There it is, actually.
So they've got a digital innovation group that's led by Aaron Martin. Aaron Martin was early on at Kindle. They have an associated venture capital fund that has raised 2 funds of $150 million apiece. They've got really good co-investors like Andreessen Horowitz with them. So sounds like that would be a good profile for you to find collaborators.
See, already we added a little bit of value, Todd. How about that? I'll talk to some of the life sciences folks here. Yeah.
Yeah. We're looking at, right now we have actually 6 speakers. And so actually there is one spot open, which is going to be our wild card, speaker. And even as we have it on our Eventbrite, we promise it won't be boring. So who knows if Elon might show up? We don't know.
So yeah, Don, you can talk to Elon for him and see what we can do. All right. Well, I want to be conscious of your time, and I know you had a hard stop at the hour, so this was awesome. I definitely will follow up with you on any way we can help. I'm new to LA myself, as you know, so I'd love to get more involved with your organizations, and so I'll be in touch soon. So thanks for your time, Todd. I really appreciate it. Don thanks you too.
No, thank you guys. This was really awesome, and welcome to Los Angeles. And I can't wait to show you what we're really made of.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, wonderful meeting you, Todd.